Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup.
Yeah.
Well, John, thanks for joining us on the show, brother. How's everything?
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're all good here. Just been gigging along, really enjoying the release of our new album, and just riding the wave, I think. So we've been all good.
That's awesome. You look like you're in what is this? Some kind of library?
Oh, it's a study at my house. Yeah, it's
very cool. It's like Bruce
Wayne's dramatic.
Library. Like in Batman Returns when he's sitting there and the light comes through this, and he stands up and he goes, yeah, it's kind of like that. Sure. But mine's just.
I wish I was in your setup. Your setup looks way better than mine, I reckon.
Full of nerdy shit. Like,
it looks pretty heavy. It looks sick.
Thanks. I like it.
Yeah. All good, man.
Swap. But as you just mentioned, your band Nth Rd have recently released your EP Panic, and it's getting a lot of hype, dude. Like, attention for it is awesome. How's it been for you guys so far? As you mentioned, riding that wave. But are you seeing the reviews? You're seeing all that, positive feedback already?
Yeah. It's the positive feedback's been amazing. It's honestly something that where none of us in the band are used to. Like, we've been doing this since we've been like 15, 16, and like our music releases before that, it was something that we weren't like super, super proud of. So to finally have like pieces of music that we're like really proud of has just been amazing. Like, the response has been overwhelming, and honestly, we're trying to get we're just trying to take it all in. It's a huge step for us, and like we're so happy that people like you and like Wall of Sound have just given us these like mad reviews. Like, it's just something we've been dreaming of for years. So finally happy to see it happening for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really good, dude.
Like, thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's mad.
Sick. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for giving it a listen for sure. Sick.
The concept behind it is interesting as well. It follows the process and the stages of a panic attack, which is interesting to break it down in itself. Why did you choose that theme to analyze that and hone in on that?
Well, this is something definitely more that my I think Geordie could explain, because he was the one that wrote the lyrics mostly. But it was surprisingly it was actually something that was written before the whole thing of COVID and the whole thing of like when the world went through like all that pandemic and stuff like that. But it's something that he had written before, and it was like something that, and we had the lyrics already planned out. But as the whole pandemic happened and all like we were like isolated and stuff like that, the lyrics became more and more like understandable, and it took a whole new meaning. And I feel like it's something we really honed in on, and it was something that we knew when we released it, like after this pandemic had ended, it was something that a lot of people would be able to relate to, we feel. Even though the emotions when Geordie wrote these lyrics before the pandemic, it like had like a whole new meaning, and I feel like it's just worked really well. And it's just something that we felt like we really wanted to get out there, and something that we really hoped it would connect with people, and I think it has. So I think we've done a good job of that for sure.
Absolutely, because it's something that people are still going through. And the weirdest thing is, I've spoken to a few bands that have tackled subjects like this, and it was written before everything happened. It was like everyone had these weird prophecies of this thing happening, and I think it's something that has helped everybody through it, and even still helping people through it. Are you hearing that?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's like for Geordie, I think he's getting a lot more. People are sort of hitting him up a lot more. For me personally, like it's not something I've personally dealt with, and it's a lot more something connected to Geordie and like maybe the other boys in the band. But I think for sure it's definitely been helping people. Everyone takes the lyrics, like they sort of like take what they want from the lyrics, like, so for some people it means the lyrics mean something completely different from other people. So that's something honestly he would know better, like for the response that people have been giving. But like for me personally, I've just been the sort of the response I've been getting is just more like, oh, this songs are sick, like the drumming's mad, like just sort of that sort of stuff that I've been like enjoying. But like the lyrics are something a lot more connected to Geordie, I think, and I think the response has been really good, and I think he's been loving it. So we've all been loving it for sure. But yeah, I'm probably not the best bloke.
No. But yeah, I mean, your explanation is perfect there. You know.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
you know, but I mean, Melbourne. You're in Melbourne, right?
Yeah,
Melbourne,
for sure.
So you guys got locked down hard.
Oh, it was not easy. It was struggling. Like we were like on like things were happening for us. Like not nowhere near like what was happening at the moment, but like we were just starting to finally get our footing and like starting to figure out what's the best move to make. And then all of a sudden we just got slammed with like 7 lockdowns. And the fact that we all pushed through that and like we're able to still stay dedicated, like honestly, that was just a mission in itself. But yeah, it's finally so good to see it pay off. And I think if anything, probably the lockdowns probably helped us a bit in a way, in terms of actually let us look back at the songs that we were about to record with Chris Vernon, and we're actually like changing it around and like fiddling with it slowly over time. So in a way, like as bad as it is, like maybe the time did help us a lot instead of rushing into the studio and recording something that we weren't 100% confident with. So definitely helped, like as bad as it sounds, but it definitely helped a little bit. So
was it lots of this stuff, lots of zooming, lots of, you know, how'd you keep it rolling?
Mostly in terms of like the instrumental side of things, because the lyrics sort of stayed pretty pretty original from the start. Like Geordie only tinkered with it a little bit over time, but definitely in terms of instrumental work, our bass player Lucas wrote pretty much most of it, and he would always run it through with me and our guitar player Billy, and we'll sort of work on the instrumentals a lot. And it was a lot of phone recordings. The phone recordings were like insane, and like when we listen to him now, they sounded like absolute garbage. But back in the day, like we used to listen to it and know exactly what he was playing and blah blah blah. But like you listen to it now, and it's just the migraine. Like I don't even know how he did it. But we've definitely upgraded ourselves a bit then. Like we're starting to use like Logic and like the newer stuff. But it was phone recordings for days before, like a couple of years ago. That's all we knew. So, but it's definitely upgrading slowly.
So sure. when was the first jam back? How did that happen? What was the?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it was like honestly, like it's such a blur to me. But I think it was like one of the first times that like they let visitors over. Like it was like 4 visitors or something. I don't know what it was, and we all worked out like, shit, we can actually do this. You guys can come over. They always come jam at our house, my house, sorry. And we were just all in a room looking at each other. We were all dumbfounded, like, shit, this is actually like we're in the room together. Let's play these songs finally. And we just got so excited. And then I think for another couple of weeks later, we got locked into another lockdown. So then it was just another. Like, oh shit, well, like at least we could jam for a little bit, but now we're back in it again. So it was just a repeated process until, I wouldn't even know, until we sort of actually just got in the studio with Chris. And yeah, so we got we were just up and down constantly.
How was it working with Chris Vernon on the
I think if you watch any of our interviews and someone asks us that, or you don't even need to ask us, we will praise Chris till we die. Because I think Chris was just like the hard sort of person, like the hard, but like gave us so much knowledge in terms of like, we were just like every young band. We had our mindset. Like, I remember like, what was it? Like, I wanted, like when Chris mentioned like, oh, like your drums might be sampled. I had no idea what sampled drums was. And I was like such an old head. I'm like, oh, sample drums, none of that electric shit. No, I don't want any of that. And Chris was just like had to hold himself together and just like let us say our dumb shit. And then like he's just sort of like mate, he's like, let me just make something let me just work, and then you guys can judge after. And then I think he had like day 2 demos. Like he was like day 2 of like working, and it was already sounding better than anything we'd put out before. And it was just like some rough thing that like Chris made in 2 seconds. So like Chris was just like he was like just so like showed us the way, you know, like he told us like the hard realities of being a band, like some stuff that we never even thought about. And like he just laid it straight out to us. And so like he told us more than he should have as a producer, you know, like he really just showed us like the right way, like in terms of how to like put out our music, how like we should show ourselves as a band, like stuff he didn't need to do, but he did it. Like, so we're always grateful for him for that, for sure.
See, that's rare. You know what I mean? Like there's dudes
it is
that clock in and clock out, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, they'll just be like, yeah, do it again. Or yeah, do this. But the ones that go into depth and invest not only in the music and the recording process, but in the band themselves, that's really fucking rare. So
it is rare. It wasn't. I'm not saying I wouldn't necessarily say like we're like Chris is like pride and joy. Like I wouldn't put him in that thing, but it was more or less like he was just like so like. I remember we were all saying like, all right, we got Chris to record for us. We're like, let's just make sure we ask him all like the stuff we need to know. And we're just so happy that he actually took the time to explain it to us and like tell us what like was a dumb idea and what was a smart idea. Like he would like, and like you said, like that was something he didn't have to do, but he did. So that's what we're grateful for sure. He for real like helped us. So yeah.
That's awesome. In the press release, it mentioned that you opted to include more China cymbal smashes. Now that is an important thing. That is like the instant stank face inducer. You know what I
love
mean?
it. Yeah,
it's important.
It's just it's just a stank face. Like you play in bands as well. I think just when the drummer starts hitting the China cymbal, it creates a completely different vibe. It like tells everyone to shut up and listen. You know, like it just overpowers everything, and I love it. It was and like recording, I had no idea, but like how hard you actually had to play drums, like how hard I actually had to hit. And like when I was like hitting my cymbals and I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna destroy these. Like, like I had no idea, but you can hear it on the album, which I'm happy about. Like it just shows like you just have to smash the shit out of your stuff when you're recording, and that's something we learned really quick when we were in the studio. So
you can feel it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And then your lips. Doing it now.
Me too. It's a natural thing.
It's an important fucking thing for a drummer. I think it's you know, it is really.
It's the driving force. It's just the absolute driving force of the song. And the breakdowns is something that will never get old to you or me or to any other metalhead. So you want to make sure it's worth it. You know, you want to make sure you're doing like as me playing the instrument. You want to make sure you're doing everything right. So.
That's right. More caveman riffs and stank face China smashes. You know, it makes the world go around, man.
It does, and it never gets old, does it? You know, like I don't think I've ever heard like a sick breakdown and gone, oh, this is getting boring. Like I'm actually just, it's forever going to be interesting to me. I love it.
So. It's saying that. Who's your 3 top drummers? Who's your influences? Who makes you do the stank face? Who brings your
that's such a good question. I think the one that like really like made like metalcore and like just made me love metalcore was definitely Ben Gordon from Parkway Drive, because he was like the band, I'm sure, for so many metalheads, like especially in Australia, and that like he was just the one that like made me want to play breakdowns, made me want to get hard on the double kicks, and like especially like because I feel like Parkway's music, like for drumming wise, isn't as complex as other metalcore. So for me to like learn the double kick patterns and all like the intricate parts, it was actually pretty accessible for me as a starting drummer. So Ben Gordon was definitely an influence. And then second, I'll probably say Jay Weinberg, probably from Slipknot.
Yep.
Like, I'll have a lot of old school Slipknot fans getting angry because I'm not saying Joey, but Jay, I reckon he's an absolute gun. And when he first joined the band was probably the first, was around the time I was starting to get into proper metal, which it's just probably like weird for some people for me to say that, but and he was just like sort of the thing like that made me he was the drummer that made me want to get double pedals, made me want to play fast and all that, and he was just another super influential drummer for me. And I'd say probably Lars is the OG, Lars Ulrich from Metallica. He's probably the gangster that, like, even though he cops so much shit, I reckon he's just like he's just a perfect fit for Metallica, in my opinion. You couldn't replace him. He's just such a heavy hitter and just smashes, and like always since he was young, just always just bash the shit out of his drums. And I learned that that's 90% of good drumming, is just learning to hit hard and being able to hit hard for long. So that's definitely true. Lars.
That is true.
Yeah.
Talking about Lars, did you see that video that just went up with Joe, old mate who played Eddie in Stranger
Things? Yeah.
And how he had a jam with him. It's the fucking raddest thing I've ever seen.
No, I didn't see the jam part. What, can he actually play? Can he?
Yeah, man.
Like, what a legend.
He went to
that is sick.
Their green room, I think it was like not Lollapalooza, that's a festival up here. Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're like, hey, do you want to have a jam? He's like, what? Yeah, and they bring out the guitar from Stranger Things, the one he played.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And man, they're just playing Master of Puppets with him. They're just jamming out, and like then they sign it for him, and he's all like,
dude,
it's the best.
Metallica just dude. I think that's man, that would be my dream, just to be in the same room as those blokes. Like they're just the gods, man. They're the absolute gods, and they're always such the nicest blokes. They see like online. They just seem like the nicest dudes. I'd love to meet them one day. We'll see how we go.
Yeah. So
I'll bring you along if I.
Yeah, watching this, Lars.
Yeah. I highly doubt it, but if he's here, if he's watching the Nth Rd interview, hats off to him.
Hey, man, come on the show. Let's have a chat.
Man, I was actually looking at some of the people you've interviewed. Man, you've interviewed some insane artists, man. Thank you so much for taking your time to interview us. Like, we're such a small band, but like I've seen you've done like Gojira, Will Putney, the boys from Malevolence. Like, that is sick. That is so mad. Thank you for having us.
No, I wanted to talk to you. I'm glad.
Thank you.
I liked it. Cheers. Marek, shout out to Marek. He sent it through, and I was like, man, that's sick. So,
thank you so much. Thank you.
Because the thing is, it's heavy, but it's got a lot of heart behind it too. There's a lot, as you said, not just lyrically, it's emotionally driven as well, and that's what I usually get drawn to. There's a lot that went into this EP, and it might be only a few songs, but it's a big, massive concept. Not just lyrically, musically, it's huge, man. And I think it's going to really catch on.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's like for us, like we've been listening to these songs over and over for probably, 2 to almost 3 years now, and like when we recorded them with Chris, he definitely changed them around a fair bit, and he worked a lot, like a couple of them, like almost completely. But like we were still, after we recorded with Chris, we were still listening to these songs for a year before we were able to release them, before we were happy to release them, and I'm still not over it. Like when I'm in a mood to listen to like our music, I'm just so proud of it, and I'm always like, it always gets me in like the emotions. Like it gets me an emotional feel to it, and probably not just because it's my music, but even just the vibe itself. Like you said, it's just so emotionally driven, and that's what I'm so proud of us with. Like we've done such a good job with it. Like not to bark up my own tree, but yeah, I'm just really happy with it.
So what about moving into the future? Like these songs, you've worked on ages ago. You started working on new material. What was that? Material. This is becoming a thing with me. It's just Pepsi Max. I fucking swear.
You sure? Nah.
Yeah, it's still from last night. But like further material, like what's that looking like now? Like how's that direction?
It's a real mixed bag. I think we really love, I think we're going more of a direction of sort of like how Thorn. I'm not going to say we're doing exactly what Thornhill are doing, but you know how Thornhill is going for the more rock sort of poppy sort of sound like they've done with the new album. I think we're sort of vibing towards that as well, but we still really want to keep our heavy elements as well. Like I reckon on our new record that we will still have a couple songs that are just ridiculously heavy because we still want to play those sort of songs. But I think we want to start experimenting more with more of like a poppy alternative sort of side of stuff. It's something that we've been sort of really wanting to try and do. And I think with someone like Chris under our belt, like, who would be happy to record with us again, I hope. I feel like that's something we'll be able to like hone in on more, even better this time. So yeah, I think we're gonna go try for like a more popular stuff. I don't know yet, but still in early production, but we'll see how we go.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And what about touring and stuff? Well, you got some shows. We're up here on the Goldie.
Yeah.
Coast. What's going on? Come pay us a visit. I see a little smart there, brother. What's going on?
No. We'll see how we go. Like I think we're really focusing on making ourselves a bit of a name in Melbourne, and we're going to branch out. We really want to branch out towards different states. Definitely I'd love to say early next year. I reckon that'd be something sick. I feel like because we are getting like messages from different states, people from like our fans from different states saying like they want to hear our music live, and it's something that we've been dreaming of for years. So as soon as we get the opportunity, we'll definitely be out your way for sure. We're not screwing around on that one. We're running. We'll run.
Good. Yeah. Because I'll have the
100%,
mate. Vinny's on Goldie. If you got to hit up the Goldie,
yeah,
or Mo's. Awesome.
There they go.
There they go. Yeah. And then you've got like Brightside in Brizzo.
Yeah, I've heard that one. I've definitely heard Brightside.
11 dive bar on the sunny coast.
Yep.
Bang, bang. Bring it.
They're all up there. That would be so sick. I'd love to see the scene up there as well. I've never really been to metal shows other than Melbourne, so I'd love to see how you guys get down up there. It'll be sick.
Yeah. We'll go hard. We'll go hard. It's going to be a good time.
100%. Yeah. Oh, man, if people recognize our music in a different state, like, mate, I wouldn't know how to act. I would freak out. Like, this is all so new to us. So we're just like, and words can't describe how keen we would be to see something like that. It would be awesome. It would be so sick.
Throw down, man. As long as you bring, that the smashes, bringing the stank face.
Yeah. I'll just bring a China cymbal. I won't even bring any other drums. Just one China cymbal.
Imagine just having your drums lined up and no hi-hat. No, just everything's just
different size Chinas.
Does that even?
I love that.
No, just that's it. It's just all that.
Yeah. Well, you pretty much guessed how I'm recording the next album. Yeah, you really guessed that. That's a smart idea.
Hi-hat? No, we don't use hi-hats.
No. Fuck that. Fuck that.
Yeah. Just 4 double kicks.
Dude.
Yeah, 20.
Just keep up with those tempos. I still want to be able to play it. Too slow. Still too slow.
Brother. Hey, you know what? It's been awesome hanging out with you, man.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's been great. You're an absolute legend.
Thank you.
For sure.
Well, we will, of course, have all the links down here to Panic in the show notes. Go get it, guys. Buy some moich, throw the dude some dollars, and get on that road, son, and let's fucking party up here very, very soon.
Let's fucking do it. Mate, I'll see you soon. I promise. I'll try to get up there for sure.